If you're resting from running but you're still in pain, you likely need to rest even more. I had a patient that I started working with last week came into me with foot pain, and him and I both came to an agreement that him resting from running was probably a good idea to help the foot pain calm down. I saw him today and his foot pain was worse, noticeably worse. And when I asked him how the last week has been going, he says, well, because I've been resting from running, I've been going on way more walks. Yesterday, I walked 3 miles and his foot pain was actually worse. So even though he was resting from running, he was still getting a lot of steps and he was still keeping the irritated area irritated because he was just substituting running with some other activity that was just as irritating. It reminds me also of a patient that I saw earlier this year who started having hip pain with running, and she took time off of running, but then she started biking a lot more and her hip pain wasn't getting any better. She was resting from running, but she was biking more and her hip was exactly the same, if not worse, with more biking. Just like this guy's foot was worse with no running, but more walking. So if you're taking rest from running and your symptoms are the same or maybe even worse, you've probably substituted running with something else, or something else in your daily life is aggravating your symptoms still. One more example. I got a guy who is recovering from tibial bone stress injuries, basically stress fractures, and even though he's been resting from running, he gets a lot of steps at work and just walking around. And I recently got him on a program where I say, hey man, try to take less than 3,000 steps per day, which resulted in him having to take some modifications with his workflow to reduce his step count, but his symptoms are getting better. So even though some of these people that I'm talking to you about are resting from running, which was the initial irritating activity, their symptoms weren't getting better because they were substituting it with other things, or their daily life was still too much stimulus for the injured area. So if you're resting from running but it's not getting better, you probably need to rest more.